have to start with this because a conversation that I feel like shouldn't be as confusing as it is, but because MVP writers and sports writers have never actually given us a reason to go, oh, this is the 100% criteria for MVP, for defensive player of the year, all of these awards, right? But MVP is the big one. And Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo, they came out yesterday and they were like, look, hey, actually, look at Jokic's numbers. He is the MVP. I understand what SGA did was amazing, but look at the numbers. I'd be hard-pressed to go with SGA over Jokic. And here's my problem with this. The best player in the world has never always been the MVP. If it did, we all know the regular lines. Mike would have more. LeBron would have more. Kobe would have more. Duncan would have more. Shaq would have more. The handful of guys who would all have more MVPs because they were the best players in the world for longer stretches of time. Really, Jokic is one of the outliers. The fact that Jokic got 3 in 4 years, similar to when Bird got 3 in a row, that doesn't happen very often with just the best player. LeBron's won back-to-back, but never 3 out of 4, 3 straight like Bird. Shaq, again, only has the one. Kobe's only got the one. Duncan's only got... Excuse me. So the MVP, who, again, it's just for shows to have stuff to talk about. Because if it was just be the best player, we would not discuss it in the same vein. We just wouldn't. That's the reality of the situation. So when you're going, oh, well, it should be Jokic. We know Jokic is the best player. No one, I think, right now would argue with you and say Jokic is a worse player or SGA is a better player than Jokic. Even if defensively we know, again, I've started to been the last couple of weeks, Jokic's defense we have to start looking at. Luka can't be the only guy in the world that we say, yo, you're an all-time great offensive player, but we have to take some of that away from you because you're so bad on defense. Because Jokic is not a good defender. I know he was top 3 in steals, but again, not a really good defender. Doesn't move his feet very much. And so just throwing out the numbers. Because here's the thing. Again, if you were to just throw out the numbers, Luka would have been MVP last year. Because Luka went 34, 9, and 10 last year. And is it that much different than 30, 10, and 10? I said this when Tony and I did group chat. When Tony and I were on 90 feet. We sometimes get so enamored with certain stat lines that we're supposedly told are always great, like the triple-double, that we start to lose track of, well, what if we still are a great number compiler, which all these guys are, but it just doesn't look like how we're used to being told it's great. Ronald Acuna 2 years ago went 40 home runs, 70 steals. The year after, Shohei went 50 home runs, 50 steals. And we saw all of the excitement, all of the celebration, all of the fanfare to Shohei, who, again, best player in baseball, two-way player, dynamic, something we've never seen before. Oh my gosh, how amazing he is, and he is amazing. But is 50-50 just because it's easier, or I guess because we like it more because we have 5 fingers or 5 toes or whatever that human connection is that really better than 40 home runs and 70 steals? So if I went, just because I didn't go, Luka didn't average a triple-double last year, but 34, 9, and 10 on a 50-win team with bad defense, isn't that pretty much the same as a guy who went 30, 10, and 10 on a team with bad defense? And Jokic is in a state where he is basically mastered offense from his style of play. So are we just going to give him every MVP until the end of time because he's always going to have the best stats? We didn't do it with Russ. Russ went on a 4-year stretch, not just the year he averaged a triple-double, but Russ went on a 4-year stretch all the way through the Wizard year where he was putting up numbers we've literally never seen in the history of basketball. We didn't keep giving him MVPs. He kept making the playoffs. but we didn't keep giving them MVPs. So we have to draw the line somewhere and can't just keep reusing some of these same topics just to fill out segments or shows. And MVP voters, be serious, please. Please, please, please be serious. Start to get more concise. Start to get more consistent. Don't just vote for MVP because, well, I like this story. This helps me sell newspapers back in the day. Again, these guys are all pro. These guys are all voters. These guys all came from newspapers. They all came from networks that are trying to make money by talking about the sport. Start to have some real criteria for what the MVP is. Even if it was just best player on best team, okay. We could understand that better if we saw that consistently. Just make it consistent. Don't just pick and choose and go, oh, well, I like this guy this year. Give us something that we can understand. Give us something that we can look at and go, oh, yeah, that guy right there, that's the MVP. Is that so hard? Moving on to the face of the NBA conversation, and there was some interesting, and I saw a lot of people pick up on this yesterday, which is that Luka Doncic led the NBA in jersey sales. He's the first international player to do so. And does that mean now, because Luka's on the Lakers, and is he going to be the next face of the NBA? Look, I'm not going to say jersey sales don't matter. I'm not going to say that being on the Lakers don't matter. And I even will give some credence to the whole, well, Luka doesn't act like the other European players. The other European players are usually, especially historically, are a lot more reserved. They're quiet. They're not barking at people. They don't have the same kind of mentality or appearance that Luka has. And that's true. It's valid. The problem is, though, when it comes to all of these face of the NBA conversations, what nobody in the media wants to tell you is that they don't get to pick the face of the NBA. And I know that sounds weird, but you can't fake the truly impactful players. If you look at when we see people like posting all these different Mount Rushmores of, the Mount Rushmore of this topic, the Mount Rushmore of that topic. And one of the ones that I've always seen over the years is the Mount Rushmore of most impactful basketball players ever. And it goes Mike, and it goes Kobe, and it goes LeBron, and it goes Steph. And I've always pushed back on it that as amazing as LeBron is, LeBron's impact is not even close to the guy who should be on that mountain with those other three in Allen Iverson. You can have all the statistics, you can have all the awards, you can have all the sales. The people that are truly impactful to other people watching the sport and other players, you can't fake that and you can't create that no matter how many jerseys you sell or how many people in the media want to talk you up to actually being that. Allen Iverson was unique. Allen Iverson was a star by his own accord. He was not created. He was not generated. He was not fabricated. He was uniquely him. And the impact and the influential is probably a better word, but the influence of AI was so much greater than LeBron. And LeBron's obviously a way better player. And I love AI, but there's no debating it. LeBron's a way better player. LeBron's a better player than Steph, as great as Steph is. Steph influenced the way kids played basketball. As someone who worked at a school, I've said this so many times over the years, I've seen kids, it's happened since the beginning of time, try to jump and dunk a basketball because that was the thing in the NBA for so long. And how many kids have jumped, realized they can't jump that high, and hurt themselves trying to dunk a basketball, and they knew it was never realistic to begin with. Kids transitioning from that to trying to shoot as many threes as you can. Kids transition. Kids weren't even trying to dunk the basketball. You see it in real NBA games. Some adults, grown men, professionals aren't even trying to dunk the basketball. You see fast breaks that have turned 2-on-1s into a 3-point competition. That's influence. And it doesn't matter who you are. Take your biggest influencer in media. Whether you want to go that's Stephen A., whether you want to go that's Colin, whether you want to go that's Dan Pat, whoever you think is at the top and has the most influence, the biggest fan base, the biggest audience, the largest crowd to try to push their story. You can't create the face of the NBA. You can't create the most influential players. Otherwise, there would be someone like LeBron, who has been the most talked about athlete in the media, scrutinized or loved for the past 20 plus years. He's not going to pass what AI did as an influence. He's not going to pass what Steph did as an influence. And Luka, yeah, you might be on the Lakers. Yeah, you might be more American than the other domestic players. But no one's copying Luka. No one's trying to be like Luka. When we go face the NBA, I did my Western Conference playoff picks. There's a reason why Anthony Edwards, despite maybe some of his off-the-court stuff that people aren't going to love, there's a reason why he is in that conversation to be face of the NBA. And that's because you can't fake what Anthony Edwards is. Anthony Edwards is authentic, maybe to a fault. Anthony Edwards is himself. Anthony Edwards is a beloved player for amongst kids, fans, and the play style that he has just translates. He's one of the most athletic guys in the league. He's now one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Just led the NBA in three-pointers. And I don't know what his jersey sales are. I don't know what his actual points per game are. And even if he's in Minnesota, which historically is not the biggest market or the team everyone goes to see and watch play, you can't fake Anthony Edwards. And that's why someone like Anthony, an Ant, is going to be in consideration for that face of the NBA far more than Luka, even if he's leading the league in jersey sales and your favorite media personality can't create that story for you.